Nice. And I mean, it pushed and propelled you all. And then that makes me think about your family life. Now the structure, as MJ the granddad, is he the same way with your little one?
He is, but he's definitely a little bit softer. You know, my son has him wrapped around his finger, and he loves being a grandfather, and they just have an incredible bond and a relationship that, you know, you only wish that you could actually witness. So I love being a part of it and actually seeing. But yeah, he's a tad bit softer on my
Of course, the grandparents are always nice.
Yes, absolutely.
It's Queensbridge. I'm from Nas.
Yes, okay.
Queensbridge, Mob Deep, CNN, Capone. That's my cousin, Capone Noriega.
Yeah.
Hostile from Screwballs, my brother-in-law, MC Shan, Roxanne Shante, Molly Ma, the Bridges, all that stuff. It's just amazing, right? And it goes on and on and on. So with that being said, when you grow up in that environment, and everybody's got hits on the radio.
Yeah.
At one point, Mobb Deep, Nas, Capone, Noriega had hits, and then the other artists had hits. Nature, Kwamega.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to be inspired by music. So I'm not a musician naturally, but I'm a musician because I'm from Queensbridge.
It's in the blood, right? It's in the blood. I love that. And I want to talk about like the selfishness, and then I want to talk about you. So outside of being a basketball player, you've also been known for your activism. So I want to go back to that time at the White House. All right, Craig? Tell me kind of what was the mindset behind that, and what did you want people to kind of see and know when all of that transpired?
Well, once again, like I told you, I was a baby of the movement. We were taught to write all of our Congress people, write to mayor, write to civic leaders.
Right.
So, and I did that. I did that all the way through college. And the night before we went to the White House, in fact, had we went to the White House, we won a championship in June. Had we went to the White House in June, I may not have even written a letter. So we didn't go to the White House for 3 or 4 months later in October. And I'm playing ping pong with one of my homies. And I'm like, man, I got to write this letter to the president. He's like, brother, you sure you want to do that? I'm like, man, I've been writing letters and my family told me that's what I'm supposed to do. So how can I not? So sat down and wrote the letter in the spirit of what it was. And the spirit was, you know, that I want to be like Muhammad Ali and champion the causes of those less fortunate. He was my hero from afar. And to get a chance to go to the White House as a champion, and knowing that my mom marched on Washington with Dr. King in 1963, I got a chance to do something that's meaningful and take a message to the president and ask him to consider the issues of poor people who have been disenfranchised. And so many people speculated on what I wrote in the letter. It's been funny to me. You know, Craig Hodges is this militant. Man, I ain't never owned a weapon. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's crazy, but it was just one that was in the spirit of consider the issues of those who won't get a chance to come and speak, and let me speak on their behalf.
And really quick, you talked about the NFL draft. We were talking about the Cowboys. Who had a better setup, Jerry Jones on the yacht or Cliff Kingsbury out your way with the beautiful mansion out in Arizona?
Well, what was that last part you said after Cliff Kingsbury?
I said
your way. Out my way. You know, hey, Cliff thought he was slick. Cliff was out there stunting. Cliff was stunting.
We were all jealous.
And you lucky they didn't angle the kind of to the right of his backyard, because I think that was a pool setup where pool and hot tub and the jacuzzi. Listen, we out here in Arizona, man, it's about 85, I think, around that time. He had that sun blazing with the little laptop out like he was really doing some work. Yeah, he was out there stunting. He was stunting. Now, Jerry, we already know Jerry got his yacht and he paid some millions for it. We know that. That's nothing. And plus, he wasn't even in a sexy section in the boat. Like, you gotta have it where the glass and, you know, you got your champagne in the back with your trophies. He's sitting on the couch part. Yeah, he's sitting like on the back part in the couch area.
Knowing MJ and just seeing his game back then, I mean, tell me about the players that you looked up to growing up that you wanted to emulate your game to be like.
Well, MJ, he was like, what made him so amazing was like his legacy and like on and off the court, his brand, what he does for, you know, community and stuff. So like when I was growing up, I was always, you know, I was watching the Lakers. I know the Celtics are going to be pissed.
I know. I'm putting you in trouble. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But like I was watching because like, because I had a school the next day. So like it was so hard for me to wake up and watch every game. So like I was literally watching the Lakers on Shaq and, you know, the championship team. So like that was one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to actually become a basketball player.
Warren, you've been there, you've done that. You're doing just so much great work in the community and with quarterbacks. And talk about quarterbacks, we're calling this year and last year the year of the Black quarterback. And we can't talk about that year without talking about you. So when you see this evolution happening and the top quarterbacks we're talking about now, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, your Kyler Murrays, your Deshaun Watsons of the world. Did you ever think we would see this day where Black quarterbacks are topping media headlines and following in your footsteps?
You know, it was something that I always dreamed of. You just never knew if it was going to come to fruition or not. But the great thing that I'm proud of my career, not so much any of the accomplishments I made on the field, is the fact that I was able to help make a difference and make a change in people's attitudes about allowing African Americans to play this position and play it at a high level and give more opportunities, because that's what I wasn't given when I came out of college, was the opportunity to show what I could do at the quarterback position. So that's why I had to go to Canada and play. But, you know, things worked out when I came back, and I ended up still having a long career, but I shouldn't have had to take that route, even though it turned out to be a very positive route for me. I loved my time up there and all the winning in that. But as a kid growing up, I dreamed of playing in the NFL. So when you get to time to be drafted, you want to be drafted to the NFL. So I was both bitter, but I was also sweet because I had the opportunity to go somewhere and at least play. But when I watch these guys playing now, you look at what's going on with African-American quarterbacks in today's game. Yeah. The reigning MVP is African-American quarterback. The Super Bowl MVP is an African-American quarterback. The highest paid player in the league, Russell Wilson, African-American quarterback. The Rookie of the Year last year, Kyler Murray, African-American quarterback. The first overall pick in the draft last year. I mean, I can go on with all these guys' accomplishments. So we've never seen anything like this with all the accomplishments these guys are making at one time in the National Football League, and it just makes my little heart proud.
And then you talked about it. You met your fiance there, so I have to ask you, Jonathan. How are you guys even trying to plan a wedding with all that's going on right now?
It's been crazy. She's very excited about it. I'm kind of just more on the chill side about it.
Oh, don't be that guy. Come on, we got to get you involved.
She's very excited. Yeah, so with everything going on, with everything not being kind of set in stone with the season, so we don't even have a date yet, but she's off just looking at stuff and doing all that stuff. So I kind of just left it to her. She's really excited about it.
I love that. And again, congratulations. I think it's so powerful. I mean, you're ordained minister, you're engaged now, you're an NBA player. We have the NBA season coming back. So you're just trying to balance multiple things, but we're excited. We'll have to keep up with you with the wedding. Hopefully we get to see it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yes, for sure. I mean, we just want to go back to it. We love those moments, like you said, hugging the commissioner and then the flashy suits and everything that we get at the draft. But I mean, I think it was different for this year's guys. But hey, we were all watching. I know the viewership numbers were up. And we really got to see, I think, those special moments in the house that we don't always get to see. So just curious, any favorite moments from this year's draft?
Oh, man, I think it's cool anytime somebody gets the call. Yeah. And everyone, my favorite moment, I forget who it was. The girlfriend was trying to look at the phone. He swatted it away. That was my favorite moment. Speedy Lamb. Yeah. That's my favorite moment. But anytime the guy gets the call and then everyone around kind of figures out it's the call and they all erupt. That's always one of my favorite moments. But the CeeDee Lamb moment, that was pretty funny.
Hilarious. And I understand he played offense there, right? He played a little quarterback and before he got moved. Is that right?
Quarterback, running back. And people don't realize when Chase got to Pilates, he was 5'6", 160 pounds.
Oh my gosh. So what a change.
He kept saying, Dad, when am I going to grow? When am I going to grow? I'm like, well,
when am I going to be like you, Dad?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm 6'10". Your mom's about 6 feet. It's going to, and he started growing.
It's coming.
So his position changed. Well, he played quarterback, running back, linebacker. He played a lot of skill positions. But now.
And I'm assuming, no more. Now he chases the quarterback. Quarterbacks don't want to see him now. And I'm just seeing that he has that experience in these different roles. Do you think that's helped him now in his current position as defensive end to kind of just know what's expected?
Yes. Chase, back in Little League and Boys Club, he played almost every position. And he was small. So he learned to develop as a small kid. So right now I look at Chase as his skill level is of a small, coordinated kid. Now just a big body. And basketball really helped. That was my sport. I truly believe if Chase would have put more into basketball like he did football,
yeah,
he would have probably been in the NBA.
Man.
Basketball really helped
Yeah.
because people talk about his first step. They use the term "get off."
Right.
That came from basketball.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Basketball did that. You know,
And he
his
learned those
agility,
moves.
that's all basketball. So you're looking at a basketball player in a football uniform. Kind of like LeBron. If you put a uniform on LeBron, you would get the same thing.
That's a great comparison. And like you said, we're talking about it. And I think now we talk with Chase, we're excited to see him start. And I think, have you had a chance to look at the Redskins schedule yet? I know we just did the Redskins schedule release.
Yeah, I did. I'm looking at the Ravens game with
Lamar
Jackson.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're a fan of Lamar. So now to have your son on the other side go against him,
Like,
how are you feeling about that?
Put your hands on him. Chase is like, Dad, I'm going to be ready.
Jim, how are you today?
Kelsey, it's so nice to be here with you. You know, I heard your introduction, and you know, I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of everyone in this country. You know, since the Super Bowl, how the world has changed. I wish I had some real words of wisdom, but just grateful to be with you. You look great. It's good to be with you.
Thank you. Again, it's a true pleasure. And I know it seems like 2 worlds ago, Jim, that we met in Miami, and this is when the world, I don't want to say normal, but when it was our, I guess, typical normal, right? And we had nothing on our minds but, you know, seeing the winner of the Super Bowl, and we remember how fun that was and everything happening. And then now COVID-19 hits us and it impacts us, and you know, our daily lives are changed. We're wearing face masks, we're wearing gloves, we're scared to go anywhere. And then of course now the world is this, we keep seeing these unfortunate just killings of Black people, of African Americans, and it's a tough time. So I appreciate you still coming on the show. I know it's a tough topic to talk about. It needs to be talked about, and we're of course going to talk about you and all the great things that you're doing. But again, thank you so much for joining. And before I get started, I have to ask every guest, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you okay? Mr. Nick Lowry. Nick, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks so much for joining me.
Well, it's an honor, and you're in my hometown. I grew up in McLean, Virginia, went to Potomac School where Gene Upshaw's son went, and a lot of interesting people. The Kennedys went, and some really great people. And then I went to St. Albans School where Jonathan Ogden, NFL Hall of Famer, went, and
talking about the Ravens, you see the shirt I'm rocking.
Well, I'm just wearing an NFLPA thing right here. So, D. Smith, if you're listening, buddy.
It still counts. So exciting. Yes, I'm kind of biased. I'm from the DMV area. You are from the DMV area. So it's great to have you back because you're living out in Phoenix now, right?
In Arizona, yeah. I go to Kansas City a lot. Went to, almost half their games this past year, including the playoff games in the Super Bowl, and got to watch a magical thing happen where they just seemed to come back from ridiculous deficits